All right, welcome back to another episode of Commission Breath. Your host, Tom Moffat here. It's going to be another solo episode. I'm going to get super granular and detailed on a recent strategy that Brandon and I have both done in our business that ended up working out really well. And the first thing I wanted to do was share it to you guys. I'm pretty excited about this one. So, we are going to be chatting about database marketing, specifically sending out two emails to both your master database and your realtor partners. If you're someone that doesn't have a big master database, then you can just opt into sending the second email to whatever partners you're currently working with. So whether it's realtor partners or accountants or financial advisors, doesn't matter. You can tweak the email that we're providing for you to then send out to them. And just a heads up, we do have a free download, a template for both of these emails for you in this episode. There's no need to opt into anything. You'll need to put your name or email. It's there for you to enjoy. It's a Google Doc. Use that to your advantage, tweak it to how you want. It's our gift to you. So what we have recently been doing in our business, like as we've talked about before, we're very purchase heavy with our leads and our closed mortgages, that is. And we were thinking, okay, what's a way to kind of diversify and get some more renewals and refis? And I was like, you know what? We're kind of lacking the amount of leads we're getting from our past clients in our database, specifically database marketing. Like we do get leads from our past clients, but we weren't really focusing on the database marketing. That's a huge aspect of your business that you just don't want to neglect. And a lot of mortgage brokers do. And we kind of fell into that camp, not by choice, just we were head down, focusing in on our realtor partners and getting those leads in through there. We weren't really focused on the other facet and component, database marketing. So that was our big mistake. But we caught it, we nipped it in the bud. And now here we are. Our first really big campaign, I want to say, was successful. And I'm talking about like getting leads. Obviously, time will tell how many closed mortgages we get from there, but we ended up resulting in 22 leads from these specific emails. And there will be more that come trickling in too, because this is pretty fresh. So let's dive into what we did. The first thing we did was we were really thinking about doing a webinar, and we kind of get caught in these shiny objects, and we're very cognizant of that, as we've talked about here in the pod quite a bit. And we're getting better and better at recognizing them to the point where we now, any new ideas we have, we sit on it for quite a while. I always have ideas that pop up in my head. My brain is always going a million miles an hour, but I've learned that I need to record it, put it in my iPhone notes app, and even voice it out with Brand and see if he thinks it's a good idea as well, and just sit on it for at least like maybe 2 3 days. And if I still think it's worth pursuing, then at that point we'll go ahead and we'll chip away at it. So to give you an example, this idea we had was to do a webinar, more like an info session, like a quick 15 20 minute info session versus like a full length webinar. And from that, we wanted to figure out what topic most people wanted. And for us, selfishly, we wanted to figure out, okay, how many leads can we get from each topic? And is it worth pursuing to get now business? Like we're kind of done with laying the foundations and waiting for those leads to come in over time. We want some now leads, some more renewals, some more refis. So we had our main subjects that we had lined up. And from there, we wanted to push that out to our master database and see where the interest lied before creating a webinar. And in doing so, first of all, we figured out what subject we wanted to talk about. And that was kind of our cooling off period as well, because it took some time to set up and send out to our database. And in that cooling off period, we figured out, you know what, a webinar is too much for us right now. What we're going to do instead is, because we're already doing content on YouTube and making these full length videos that take a lot of time, a lot of editing on Nikki and her team's part, why don't we leverage that, the system we already have built out and kind of polished along the way? And instead of doing these live webinars, let's create this nice polished video and send that out to anyone that was interested in joining the webinar. That way they can watch it at their own time. And we might even layer in a live component to that, which would be a YouTube premiere video. So if you haven't heard of what our YouTube premiere video is, it's an already recorded video, but it's set to premiere on a certain day and time. So we might be tinkering with that, because that's not really that much extra time to develop. The video's already done. It's just a matter of setting up the premiere and pushing it out. So we might do that, or we might just send out the video to everyone that was interested in the topic. So now that we've figured out our model, we've sent out the email. Why don't we go over what the email was? If you're sending out email marketing campaigns and you want a high response rate, you always want to have a good subject line, and B, you want it to be quick and to the point in the body of the email. So you don't want to have this long, like couple paragraphs in this email because people are just going to open it and click off of it and go about their day. If you have a short email with one response that you want from them and you make it quick and to the point, you're going to get a higher response rate versus the other way around. So the subject line was need your opinion. And again, the idea behind this email is we want a high response rate of what people actually want to hear and see from our info session. So we're asking them what they want from a list of topics. So we said, hope your week is going well. We're going to be hosting an info session in 15 days from now, and we'd love your feedback on which topic below you find most interesting. A, how to get the best rate at renewal. B, how to buy real estate in the US as a Canadian. C, how to buy your first home quicker while cutting your mortgage payment in half. If you can reply back with your thoughts, that would be awesome. Thank you. So, as you can see, it's super short, quick to the point. We only gave them 3 options on purpose. We had about 5 that we wanted to do, but we wanted to just keep it simple for them and not overwhelm them. So, we just did 3 options for them to pick from. The results were A, how to get the best rate at renewal was by far the most interested topic. Like we had the most amount of people interested in that one. Now, coming in at second was how to buy your first home quicker. And if you haven't put together the pieces there, the strategy on that one would be to show first time home buyers how to house hack. And we've kind of coincidentally have come across a lot of clients who have been house hacking lately. So we thought it was kind of this trend that people are picking up on. We're experienced in teaching people how to do that. I mean, it's pretty simple, but we were going to showcase that in this info session and even showcase one of the products we have in our broker channel where we can have them qualify for a higher mortgage amount without even having that income suite in the house yet by using a purchase plus improvement program. So you're basically projecting the rental income in that home and you can qualify them for more and they cut their mortgage payment in half by having that tenant pay down the mortgage. That was going to be the whole pitch on that. So we did have quite a bit of interest from that, but by far the renewal came in first. Last one was how to buy real estate in the US as a Canadian. We did have some people interested in that one, but as you can probably tell, we kind of knew this wasn't going to be a winner, but we did have some interest in that. And you're probably wondering, like, why even throw that one in the ring? Well, we have a connection here in Canada that basically we've partnered up with. We can send leads to them. They can help people in Canada finance their US real estate properties, and we get a 30% compensation from that. So if you are interested in that, let me know. Just send me a DM on Instagram. We've already sent 3 leads already to our partner there. So we're pretty optimistic about it. It's something that we're cognizant that it might be a shiny object for us, but at the same time, we're not hands on with these files. We're just sending them off to our partners to then facilitate the US mortgage. And they're really good at doing it and have a lot of options for them. And I have a property in the States, so I'm well versed with how the US lending works. So it's very easy for me to have conversations to then send off the leads to these people. But that's kind of a sidetrack on this. Okay, so now that we had the email sent out, we had these responses, we've had them logged. Now we want to reply back to them to really get their interest in the info session. So what we did was we simply email replied back to them. We said, that's great. We're actually going to be creating a video on this topic. Would you like us to send that video once we're done? Like if we had 10 people from that sample, 9 of them would have answered. That's how high the response rate was on it. A lot of people were interested, especially in that renewal video. So what that gave us was 3 different topics to create videos on, which one of them we've already done, the US real estate one. That one did pretty well on YouTube. And then we also have those other 2 topics that we're going to be doing. Each of us are going to do the one video. Now we're leveraging our time. We're giving people what they want. And now we're going to send that video back to them. And we've already logged in a couple of those renewal dates from those people that have responded back. So out of our database, we had 12 people that reached out for the renewal. So 12 interested in topic A for renewals. 7 interested in house hacking, and 3 interested in US real estate. And as a bonus, we had 5 realtors interested in house hacking. So taking away the 5 realtors from that equation, we had 22, I'm calling them leads because some of those 12 people that reached out for the renewals, we've already tracked their renewal dates. And the 7 interested in house hacking, those can be potential first time home buyers. And you bet we're going to be squeezing more leads out of those people that watch our video because we're going to be following up for feedback. And we're also going to be following up to see if they have any friends or family that need help in the topic that we presented. It's a really good touch point to then gain traction from. So we've got the 22 leads from that, the 5 realtors that are interested in house hacking. We're now going to be presenting the video to them to then have them send out to their database. When it comes to realtors, it's hard to get them to do what you want them to do with database marketing, but we're going to try there. I've tried a lot of these different strategies and campaigns in the past where we want to leverage the realtors database. And it's not that they're not open to doing it, it's just another thing for them to do. But in this market, and this would be my pitch, is that the buyer leads are very low right now in this market for realtors. They have a lot of listing leads, but not a lot of buyers. And the listings, of course, are sitting for quite a while. So enticing them saying, hey, this video, or hey, we can run an info session on this in the future, this will get more traction and leads for you from a buyer perspective. So more buyer leads, because we're teaching people how to get in their home faster, how to cut their mortgage payment in half, and how to qualify for more for a mortgage. Like if you have those 3 pain points for first time home buyers and you push that out there to the world, there will be a lot of people interested in that topic. And if you can leverage the realtors database, it's just another win. And by the way, this isn't even the realtor email. This is the master database email. It just so happens that some of them were on our master database. Just sometimes we have automations that push them through. We haven't even sent this out to our realtors yet. So we're going to get a lot more interested in putting their hands up for that. So now moving on to the realtor email. So as we've talked about several times before, we do the Friday realtor email. And I know a lot of you listening do it as well. And this was just another Friday email, but we didn't really expect much traction with this one. It was really just kind of a filler. Funny enough, like we're kind of scrambling on Friday to send out an email. We're like, crap, like we don't have any content. We haven't really thought about this one yet. What is it that we can do to get a Friday email out? And we're like, well, you know what? This master database email that we just did for the info session had a really high response rate. Maybe we can do something similar for our realtor partners. So our realtor partners, we are just under 300 on our master list between the two of us because we send out one email for the two of us since we've combined businesses. So we have just under 300, and we're like, that's a lot of people that we can send this out to, and it's going to be a similar question, only just for a different topic. So the subject line is pretty much the exact same. We just tossed in expert in the subject line, need your expert opinion. Hey, first name, we're working on a YouTube video, how to avoid paying too much for a home, and was wondering if you can give us a tip that you think would be relevant. That was it. Like, it sounds so stupid and simple, but it is. It's simple. We were just asking them because we were actually curious. Like, we were creating another video and we wanted to leverage the knowledge and experience from our realtor partners. And that's why we asked the question. We kind of just figured out realtors love to showcase their expertise and just they love to talk. That was why we got a high response rate on that. It was the highest response rate we've ever had for our Friday emails. And we're like, wow, this is crazy. So it led to so many conversations. It strengthened the relationships with a lot of our current partners, and it actually activated a lot of realtors who have sent us leads in the past, but for whatever reason stopped. Now, maybe it's because they found another mortgage broker, or maybe it's because they're just really down on buyer leads this year. It could be for any reason, but nonetheless, what it did was sparked and rekindled the relationship. And right from there, we went ahead and we called the realtors that answered the email. So it was a really good touch point and a reason to call. Anytime you have a reason to call your realtor partners, by the way, it's great. It's fantastic. It makes the call so much easier. So that's what we did. And we just stayed top of mind. We know this will lead to future leads. I think Brandon may have gotten one or two direct leads from that email. We know it's going to lead to more in the future and really just stay top of mind. So we found that was a success and it took us literally 5 minutes to do. That's why we loved it. And that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for dealing with my hoarse voice. I'm a little sick and under the weather today, but we appreciate you guys. And as always, we will see you on the next episode.